to do an event. It's handed to them on a plate here. So we've got a bit of time now for some of your own reflections as well. We want this to be as participatory as possible. First of all, we're trying out this fun new thing, this word cloud. So the instructions are up here. You go to menti.com and you type in the code and you can answer the question in one word. How would you describe your experience today? And that'll all pop up live as you're answering. But if anybody also has any specific questions or comments or things that they want to share from today, please just raise your hand, and we've got a couple of mics. Ian, we've got a mic for you.
So first, check.
Oh, hello.
There we go. Oi, oi. I come to quite a few of these events, and they're really inspiring and they're really amazing. As I am quite a critical person, as you'll get to know me, is that what's going to happen after the event? What's going to be the follow-on? What is Julie's Bicycles going to do beyond this event to support particularly ourselves as grassroots organisers, people of colour? We are so under-resourced, under-supported, and yeah, this is really great. It's like rock and roll. It's like Glastonbury, come up, yeah, perform wicked, and then we go home crying behind closed doors. Do you know what I mean? So I just really would like to know what's going to happen from the point of Julie's Bicycles and us as producers, facilitators, whatever we are, to keep the momentum going.
I don't know if this is a me question or not, but
okay.
I'll attempt it. So as the podcasts launch, we would really like to carry on being able to produce them and to be able to platform all of the work that's happening. And not just that, I think that for me, the most important thing about a day like today is that I feel like a lot of the time as people of colour in the environmental movement, we tend to work in very sort of separate spaces, and we don't often sort of get a chance to all connect with one another. So that is part of the work that I will be trying to keep doing that through social media platforming, through event platforming, through the podcasts, and if somebody would also like to give us money for that, please do. And also to people, to grassroots organisers like Ian, because that's where so much of the work is happening. I can't say much more on that because this is such a new programme and been quite an experiment for us. But I personally really hope that this is something that leads to much bigger work.
Where and when will the podcast be available, please?
First thing in the morning on our website, and they'll be on Buzzsprout and eventually across iTunes and Stitcher as well. They don't all have to be questions directed to me, just putting that out there. I'm not an expert on anything.
This is in part response to the gent's question down there. I'm part of a movement called Culture Declares Emergency, which some of you may be aware of, which is sort of a loose, voluntary umbrella body which is trying to get the cultural sector to ask itself lots of questions about what's the role of arts and culture in the climate emergency, and wants to be as wide a conversation as possible, and is very much extending an invitation to anyone who wants to join that conversation. There's an event next Monday, the 8th, at the Roundhouse in Camden. And it's an ongoing conversation. It's trying to get people to engage not just in what work they do, but how they do it. And we're really, really open and really extending an invitation to widen that conversation. So if anyone is interested, please do look up Culture Declares Emergency or come and chat to me afterwards.
A little provocation for any more questions. Before we get on to the next question, let's go into another word cloud. And I'll be able to send these round afterwards as well, or put them on the website. Another one-word response. What do you want for the future of the environmental movement? So question to the person in the pink.
Can you remind me of the question?
What did I say? How will you take all the discussions from today out into your own context?
So I'm the artistic director of an arts organisation, and I'm trying to get us all to declare a climate emergency. So yes, someone will be there on Monday. And this feels like a really important part of that, and it needs to be embedded right at the start. And I'm really up for thinking about those conversations and how it, yeah. So thank you very much. It's been great.
Anyone else with anything to say?
I won't stop now. I'll start, so just warning you guys.
Keep
Okay. Another thing that I didn't mention in my presentation was this accountability for each other. I know from experience again that we come out of these places and we're like, oh yeah, amazing, amazing, and actually that doesn't filter out into actually actions. And I don't know if it's feasible here, but it'd be really nice to think about maybe as individuals, just one action we can take from this event to galvanize, get more resilience in the movement as well. It's something that I just kind of think is really important because we have lots of these conversations and we revisit them and sometimes we don't feel like we're moving. So I really advocate people to just align themselves to not just myself and our organisation, but people who, if you feel like you're interested, actually go and help. Get involved, because we was talking about Extinction Rebellion earlier, and I just saying like one of the things they can do is just support more grassroots organisations, and that kind of answers a lot of the questions that we've explored today, a lot of the topics we've explored. But unless you've created a relationship, that's not possible. So I think it's really important that people come out of their comfort zones and actually do a bit of outreach or just talk to maybe groups or individuals in ways they've never done before, but actually be present by doing something as well, actually some kind of a verbal action.
I think that's really, really important. And just from my own personal experience at Julie's Bicycle, this has all come about because we've created between us a lot of trust to have these conversations, and that's what the rest of the environmental movement needs to be doing too. I have to be able to trust in Julie's Bicycle, and they have to be able to trust in me to have these conversations. So thank you. Anyone else? Come on. Right, so I don't know if some of you might have noticed today that we've had some visual minutes going on and some incredible portraits of our podcast guests. So Jess is going to tell us a little bit about what they've been drawing today.
Is it possible to get the mics up? Just
Oh yeah, can we get the house lights up? Is that a thing that we can do?
Is my mic? Can we get the house lights up? Thank you. Quiet. Anyway. So hi, hello. Firstly, what a pleasure to have been listening to all these conversations and panel discussions and talks from today. Sort of the brief was, can you summarise? Not really. I think as you'll realise that the content has just been so incredibly rich, and I think the conversations that we've had with a few people that have come over to speak to us have been sort of, how do you get everything? And actually we can't get everything, and there's so much that isn't on here that I think we would really love to have on here, but just physically we haven't got space and haven't got the time. But I think it would be great to just, I really am just picking out a couple of my favourite points from today. So I think this kind of connectivity with nature was a really amazing conversation that we listened to this morning, especially within the sort of expertise that the four people that we had on the stage were demonstrating, just kind of quite mind-blowing at the same time, so that was amazing. On a slight sort of critical perspective, I think, although it's wonderful to see everyone here today, there are so many empty seats, and I have a feeling, just having overheard conversations in the breakout sessions and the breaks that we've had, kind of preaching to the converted, oftenly. So, yeah, no, exactly. So it sort of feels like great, but we need to be talking to people and having conversations with people that aren't in the room. And I think Selena said it and Emma said it in their last session here. Sort of we need to be connecting and conversing and talking, and like, where are all the 16-year-olds who are so actively present in this conversation? And so just from a sort of other perspective, so we were totally delighted to be asked to come here because this is very in line with our own values, but again, we're part of the conversation already. So there's that. What else? I don't know, there's so much. I would just invite you all to come and have a look at it at the end of the day. We are going to be taking it away with us after we've finished, and it will be being digitised and being shared with Julie's Bicycle. So I'm hoping and assuming that it will all be sent out to you guys as well, so you'll have a little digital version of it that you can then peruse at your own leisure. So I will leave it there, if that's okay. But just thank you to everyone who's spoken. It has been really, really wonderful to listen to you all, and really excited to see you guys perform in a minute as well. So yeah.
And as the performance has been mentioned, and some of you might have heard some of the rehearsals happening earlier, I'll hand right over to them. So we're going to see a little extract of Fog Everywhere, which was performed by Camden People's Theatre. And we've got Conrad, who will be able to introduce the...
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So thank you, everyone, as well, for everything today. It's been really wonderful. Yeah.
So I'm going to start the show. So we're going to show an extract of Fog Everywhere. Brian Logan, the artist director of Camden People's Theatre, in 2017 said, will I come and help out, create a show with some young people all about air pollution, because we know that the Sadiq Khan's kind of changes what are coming, and also having discussions with young people about their views on air pollution and wider issues and the environment, and see what they cared about, why they cared about it, and why they didn't care about it, and what are the things that kind of get in the way of that. And I was a bit, so some of the guys were initially quite sceptical, and have maybe the needle has changed a bit. Some people it's changed a lot further, but it's all the piece and the whole thing was about discussion. But it was about mainly, it's called Fog Everywhere. It's mainly about air pollution and young people's response to that. And this is a short extract about that. Do we have another mic down here? Is it done? Is it done? Great. Yeah, so round of applause for these guys. This is Fog Everywhere.
See that? That was Ryan, the godfather of grime. He's been stabbed, he's been chased with swords, samurai shotguns, been banned, been deported, and he had a very public beef with Glastonbury Festival. Fuck them and their farm, he tweeted.
You're changing the subject.
Hey, I came second at balloons, and I've got asthma.
And you smoke.
I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
We're talking about pollution. We got asked to make this show. Camden People's Theatre wanted to hear what young people had to say about London pollution.
Well, if CPT wants to know what young people think, they should listen to our music.
I can speak for myself, thank you very much. I'm reading The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's called the classic novel for London fog. London is famous for its fog.
London was famous for its fog. Now it's famous for our music.
In Victorian times, theatre shows like this one sometimes had to be abandoned because the fog was so bad the audience couldn't see the actors and the actors couldn't see the audience.
That would have happened today, but we weren't allowed to use our smoke machine.
well, all right. If you want to talk about abandoned, before 2017, grime gigs often had to be abandoned because the police's 696 risk assessment unfairly targeted black artists.
I'm talking about fog. London in the old days, I've been reading about it like we were supposed to.
And I'm talking about London today like we're supposed to.
A great chocolate-coloured ball lowered over heaven, and as the cab crawled from street to street, I beheld a marvellous number of degrees of twilight. Here, it would be dark like the back end of evening, and there would be a glow of a rich, lurid brown like the light of some strange fire. And here, just for a moment, the fog would break up, and a haggard shaft of daylight would glance between the swirling reefs. London, whose lamps have been kindled afresh to combat this mournful reinvasion, seemed like some city in a nightmare.
Oh, listening to you is a nightmare.
Since we've started making the show, here's what we've learned about pollution in London.
Children living in polluted cities have up to 20% less lung capacity than children living elsewhere.
Toxic air cuts London's life expectancy by 17 months.
Air pollution has been linked to increased mental illness in children, anxiety, depression, behavioural disorder.
Right. And urgent is the culture to racial British. This is punk.
Yes. The year we made this show, London exceeded its annual air pollution target within just 5 days. That's a year's worth of pollution by January 5th.
In the US, over 216 black people were killed so far this year, a third of whom were unarmed.
That's got nothing to do with this.
Listen, I've got a platform, it's good to remind people.
443 schools across the capital are in areas that exceed legal air pollution limits.
And overall, research shows that nearly 10,000 Londoners die early each year because of London's toxic air.
And all of these effects on physical health and mental health are irreversible. What's happening now is going to be with us for the rest of our lives.
But they're all just like statistics, aren't they?
What do you mean?
I mean, they're just estimates and targets and approximations, and in the meantime, you can't actually see it.
That's true.
There's nothing actually there.
Well, what do you mean? It is there. Just because you can't see it,
Bro, you can smell it. To be fair, even I can smell it.
we can all smell it. We can. We've just stopped noticing that we can smell it.
What I mean is, I live in London now, but before that, I used to live in Colombia, where pollution statistically kills more people than guns do, and that's really saying something. I can still blow a pretty big balloon.
Ladies and gentlemen, in protest of how soft this scene is, let me introduce to you instead the coming king of grime, the star of bars, the madman of beats, W!
Get out of my house, as a rat. Hey, put on the beat, bro. Yeah, listen, man, I got something on my mind. Yeah, any man on whole sport like for, man, I know I bring the heat, it's like.
What is this? What are you doing? This isn't a show about rap music.
Yeah, I have to make a virtue of the music, don't I?
Don't want to make a virtue of grammar. What to wipe it away.
Wait,
You white boy something like you can't do.
What?
I get her mic then, get her mic.
There we go.
Beat from yesterday. Okay, show me what you got.
Have another go. Give her another go.
Kids in a block got things in a sock and don't realise where they're coughing a lot. Run from the cots by the run by the fog. Can't see the mum through the London smog. 10,000 people die early each year. Why won't you hear what I'm trying to say? London's toxic air is oxidizing your hair grey. Every single day a baby's brain is affected by our ways that we won't change. We have to change.
Nah, I'm not with it. There's something much really than this. There's something much bigger than this. Like Uni G, have you thought about uni fees? Like Uni G, have you thought about uni fees? Gonna get left in debt, my G. 9,000 deep, isn't that peak? Black man shot every day.
No one makes the Jakes pay. No matter what you say, seems killing people is okay. That is the smoke, that is the fog. Insidious all around killing us, that is the smoke, that is the fog. Insidious all around killing us.
You're making out that racism and poverty are separate issues to pollution. They're not the same thing.
Well, what?
I mean, it works for a system for the rich and the powerful and against people like us. And you can either try and get justice or you can just keep changing the subject.
Nah, man, you're so naive. You really don't get it that. Look, people like us don't get no justice. You gotta trust this, we won't bust this. If May don't care about us, why she care about fumes from a bus? If the gov don't care about us, why would they care about our lungs and stuff? Sorry about trying to call your bluff, but you both understand this shit's kinda tough. Any solution, there won't be enough. This pollution shit, it gets kinda tough. Their kids breathe this air, and they still don't care. Kids wind up dead, and they still don't care. So tell me, please, why should I care? You say we can make this change, or I say that ain't the rules of the game. You say we can make this change, or I say that ain't the rules of the game. The gov won't care till they get us scared, till shit gets meant, or pollution grateful. A pollution grateful, your life and mine is incidental. Understand? It's the realness.
So what, so watch, accept it. Do fuck all like climate skeptic. Take what you're given, do what you're told. Cough when you're young, never get old. Change can happen, his newsletter. Victorian fog that got back. They thought smoke was here to stay, then they made it go away. No peace supers, Jack the Ripper. The dark got bright, the day went clear. Change can happen, don't be a quitter. Get even, G, and don't get bitter. Don't get bitter. Don't get bitter, get even, G, and don't get bitter.
To be honest, I'm not even like bitter. And to show I'm not bitter, I'ma jump off the mic. I'ma pass it to my bro Jay. Hey Jay, take out the garbage, bro.
Fuck pollution, no man to me. I'm a young boy straight from the sea. That's Columbia, me. With holistic pump, you see, like getting a job or a uni degree. You got solutions, G? Nah, I didn't think so, G. I'm looking hard and I still can't see. And I still can't see. And I still can't see. Nah, I didn't think so, G. I'm looking hard and I still can't see. Fog everywhere, and I just don't care. Fog everywhere, and I just don't care.
Okay, cool, alright, cool. Ready? Really, still can't see what happens one to you and me, to all of us. If we stay blind to him, to them, to humankind. No fresh air left for none of us. So what will become of us? So what will become of us? So what will become of us? How thick do you want the smoke to go? How dark before everyone knows? Now don't see it, then you do. Is this visible enough for you?
That was amazing. Thank you all. Thank you all so much. Another round of applause. That's it. That's it for today.
I want to chat with Conrad.
Well, you've got an hour, and there's some drinks back in the Williams Lounge. Please do take advantage of the opportunity to go and chat to one another. So thank you all again. Thank you to all of the podcast participants, to all of the panelists, and to everyone who's contributed today. Thank you.